Okay, we are back. Let's quickly go over that forecast. 0%, zero rain today. We don't have to worry about that, but you better keep an umbrella close for tomorrow. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. 60 degrees out there. Temperatures, we're going to see them hit about 71 today. Tomorrow, 100% chance of showers. In fact, not showers, just really a downpour with possibly 2 to 3 inches of rain. So that's quite a bit, and windy. So make sure you have all that furniture taken care of. And then Thursday, things just start to dry out. Partly cloudy skies, 68 for that high, and full sunshine on Friday. All right, I want to introduce you to Jacob this morning, and of course Amy McMullen back with us. Jacob, your last name is? Spires. All right, and a military guy. How long were you in the service?
4 years, ma'am.
4 years, ma'am. Listen to him. You did good on that game today, too. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Amy. Amy contacted us because you got in touch with Jacob because they did the 22-mile walk.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook, my feed.
Channel 19.
Yeah, WHNT did a story on 4 of these guys. They're all military, and I saw the letters PTSD, which
stuck with you.
Yeah,
close to home.
My husband served for 10 years and struggled with PTSD, which ultimately, he passed away in 2004. But these guys, they were walking 22 miles. It took them 8 hours to walk the miles, but they did it on behalf of soldiers with PTSD and also soldier suicide.
Now, we do have some of these photos here that Jacob sent us, and I do want to say 22 veterans and 1 active service member commit suicide in the U.S. every day. Is that not astonishing to you guys? I mean, it was to me. What a high stat. I talked to you, Jacob, about it, too. You served for, what, 4 years? You did your 4 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go on any tours?
I did 1.
The number one question, unfortunately, when you come home that people want to know is the most unfortunate one that you guys are trying to forget, and that's did you take anyone's life? Did you, do that? And you guys don't want to talk about that. That's not something you want to brag about, talk about, even probably remember about. Did you ever struggle with PTSD?
When I first came home, I probably did a little bit. I had a good core support system. Most veterans that come home, they get parties thrown or, welcome home parades. At the end of the day, when all that hoopla disappears, they're by themselves.
Silence. It's almost like when you lose a loved one and the widow, for say, you go through all the motions of the funeral and everything, and then after the fact, everything kind of settles, and then you're left there for it really to sink in. And
it almost feels like everyone disappears. Yeah.
So it's like the month after the funeral is when you guys really need the most support. Did you ever think about suicide?
I probably crossed my mind maybe once or twice. Like I told you earlier, maybe I'm a little vain or a little selfish. I have 2 little girls. Yeah, headstrong. I'd actually like to walk my daughters down the aisle. So, I thought about the greater picture, and I always ask God, and of course, God doesn't want people to do that. So, but
and with saying that, I don't want to belittle the disease of that, because there are some people that obviously don't want to really die, and it happens, and it's not like they're not thinking of loved ones, but it's just something that overcomes them, and they just don't recognize those symptoms to go get help. So I don't want to belittle what we were talking about. I'm headstrong and never do that, because you don't know. I've never struggled with depression, so I don't know. But a lot of people do struggle with depression. If, for say, the serviceman or woman that comes home and they're suffering from that and they don't know how to recognize it, what do you urge family members to do? Or friends even?
Talk about it. People always say if you talk to somebody, usually outside opinions help with your whatever you may have going on. But to me, I talk to family, talk to friends, I guess the VA therapist. But usually I would talk to somebody outside.
Don't be afraid of it.
No, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Don't be afraid of it.
Don't be afraid to admit that you're struggling with depression.
You're not weak or nothing. So, you got a lot to live for.
Life.
Families.
And there's no telling what you guys see in different countries. And, I asked you about, and you don't have to answer what you don't want to, but I asked you about, in this day and time, the way the military is now, and what's going on, especially with ISIS being the next terrorist group that we're definitely going to have to deal with. What are your thoughts on that? Should we stay out of it? Do we, just as a serviceman, do you see that going away and somebody else taking care of the problem?
You know, I'm not very political per se, but I believe
Politically
that
correct.
Yeah,
That's okay. We're not either
I believe
on this
that
show.
you know every American should own a gun. You know, if that happened on my doorstep, I'd definitely do what I have to do to protect my family. So, you know, in the back of any soldier's mind, he's going to do whatever he has to do to protect his family, his friends, and his loved ones.
You know, this past election, there was a big uproar, I guess you could say, about just targeting young people. Do you think there's truth in that? How old are you?
I'm 35.
Just a baby.
27.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm 35, but
I'm 27 too.
Yeah, I was there a long time ago.
What a
Not there
coincidence.
anymore. But, okay, 45, and I still think
not bad. No.
don't target young folks because, I mean, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. So do you agree that they go after the young coat?
I believe so.
How old were you when you went into the service?
I was 22.
22?
Yeah, pretty young, a little baby.
Yeah. But you went in because you wanted to. You wanted to
well,
serve, or?
Yeah, I wanted to serve my country, but there's also no jobs around, so, you know.
And a lot of it is a job for many. I mean, it's not just I want to go fight for my country and go die for my country. I mean, no one really thinks about that stuff anymore, unless you're like in the Navy SEALs or something and just want to
super
go destroy
patriotic.
something or someone. But, well, what you guys are doing, what's your next step?
Well, Anthony Ramos and Clint and Matt Snell and we're going to try to hold this event once a year. I talked to Anthony about possibly doing maybe a 5K in between. Something just to kind of get promoted, promote the city, promote, you know, within veterans, get veterans more involved in the community. I think I want to try to get something taken care of the veterans that are homeless. So I'm trying to figure out a way around that.
That is very irritating, the way that
Yes.
our veterans are not being taken care of the way they should.
Yeah,
so.
I think there's I
keep
read a
doing
stat, it's
that.
like 50,000 people
Yeah.
that are homeless veterans.
Sad.
So
So if you know of anybody out there that needs help, guys, just, you know, kind of let somebody know it, and maybe we can try to help them too.
Yeah.
Amy, you wanted to do something first time ever, and no
Yeah.
tears.
No. I you know, I speak, and I've always spoke about PTSD with my husband. You know, he served for 10 years and struggled with PTSD. And I know I've already spoken to you and Matt and Clint and Anthony. I wrote all of you this morning before we even came here. I just want to thank them again for taking the time to make such a powerful statement.
Keep awareness out.
Yeah, bringing awareness to PTSD and also the soldiers that have, you know, fallen through suicide.
She has a gift for you.
I
What
have
is
one
it?
of my red trees I wanted to just give you. I plan on giving all of you guys one.